don't be surprised when you're surprised as to what shows its head in the coming days and weeks ahead. I think, what do you mean it's 8 weeks? I have orders. What am I going to do? Whether it be gold revaluation, whether it be blowing up the banks in London who Gordon Brown sold almost all of their gold, so you revalue the price of gold. I know it seems a little bit out there, but I'm just passing on information. We are at a place right now where
the rules of the game are changing fast. What happens if gold is revalued overnight? How high could silver go in 2025? And what critical moves should investors be making right now? Andy Schectman lays it all out. Gold, silver, predictions, and the biggest opportunities ahead. Stay tuned, because this could change everything. Alert.
To what you were just saying, they changed the law recently on reportability, dealer reportability on buyback of junk silver. Dimes, quarters, and half dollars used to be reported my whole career if you sold back 1,000 face or more. Not anymore. It has to be sufficient enough to be able to cover or to satisfy delivery on a COMEX contract. Junk silver does not qualify like a kilo of silver bar would, or 100-ounce silver bar, or 1,000-ounce silver bar. And so they pulled it out of reportability in terms of requirements by the dealer. None of this takes away the client's obligation to do the reporting. It just means we won't do it on their behalf. And, you know, that's another example. Not only is silver, historically undervalued, not only is the gold to silver ratio historically out of whack, following the same thing I've just been saying, but these things are happening at a time when the biggest money in the world is rushing and scrambling to acquire physical metal and hold it themselves. I mean, and yet the public is asleep. I've never seen an environment like this ever. The things that are happening on COMEX and the LBMA, it's unbelievable. And it's almost as if this giant Ponzi scheme of rehypothecated gold and silver is coming to an end. And that's what's, interesting. At the same time, you got Warren Buffett, who's sitting on, $334 billion in cash. He has right now $286.5 billion of short-term treasuries. That's 91 billion more than the Federal Reserve has. And this is the greatest value investor of all time, who has no interest in holding securities. I mean, he owns some still, but it shows you his mentality. Everyone is flocking at the Trump trade, and you have the most legendary investor of all time having more cash than just about half of in fact, more cash than all but, in terms of market cap, his cash balance is larger than the market cap of all but 30 public companies in the world. What does he see? And why are we seeing such a massive drive to accumulate metal? And it's interesting too, because I asked AI, just for those people who haven't heard this, I asked AI, because everyone's saying, well, there's a whole new thread out there, that we didn't talk about, done again last week, about what I thought this gold coming back was for. And there are people like Tom Luongo who will tell you this is being done to blow up the Bank of England. I'm not saying I believe that or not. It's intriguing. That Trump was angry that he found out it was the aristocrats in England that were behind all of these problems with him, with the election, and that he's trying to get back at them by exposing this fractional system in London. And the rumor is that the U.S. banks in London are now long. I can't substantiate any of this, okay? I don't mean to spread innuendo, but if that were true, it would be very interesting. And I asked AI, what would be signs of the LBMA breaking? The first thing that said was widening divergence between paper and physical gold prices in indicating delivery stress. Well, it was at $82 an ounce difference. I don't know what it is now, maybe 30, 35, where, in other words, you can buy a contract in London and sell one in New York and get that arbitrage. Well, that's what a lot of people say that this is about. It's the arbitrage. And I don't believe that. Yeah, it's enticing for a trader to do that, but the cost of shipping it across the globe kind of pulls the incentive away. The second thing it said was reports of delayed deliveries or contract settlements. Well, okay, it's supposed to be T+1. It's now T+8 weeks. And the Bank of England says, well, we don't have enough trucks or manpower. Really? You don't have enough trucks and you're the Bank of England, right? You couldn't just go rent every truck from Ryder and U-Haul and whoever the hell you have to rent it from in London to do this? Don't believe it. They also say, well, some of it is refining backlogs. No, it's not. Because number 4 was major disruptions in supply chains, including mining, refining, or transportation. So check, check, check. And then the other one, number 3, was unusual gold lease rate spikes, reflecting increased borrowing costs for physical gold. They've shot through the roof. They were at 10, 20, 30 basis points. They're north of 6% now. And let's talk about lease rates for just 1 second. I'm a jeweler, and I need this contract, right? I need this gold bar to make my jewelry. And so I buy a contract, and I know that I can stand for delivery. It's going to take T+1. In 3 days, I'll have my gold. What do you mean it's 8 weeks? I have orders. What am I going to do? Well, you can lease a bar from an LBMA member. Now, the lease rates have gone parabolic from 20 basis points to 6%. Well, that doesn't make it very appealing, but okay, I'll do it. So I lease that bar, give it to the manufacturer to make my jewelry. In 8 weeks, hopefully I get my bar to pay it back, and I'm made whole. Well, okay, check, check, check. So all of these things have happened. The last one that hasn't happened would be what Tom Luongo is saying, trying to blow up the LBMA and the member banks, and that many are saying that the U.S. banks are kind of flipping the script here and are going long there, which I can't validate. But the last one is banking sector instability affecting LBMA member banks or clearinghouses. So how close are we to a default? Could it really be that is what the idea was to, he says it started with the flipping of LIBOR to SOFR, and that was his signal that this was beginning to happen. And then everything he's done since, draining the gold to silver out of a situation where if we look at give you the number, I often talk about silver, that they have 300 million ounce float trading as much as, they say 290 million, but they say it's 10 times understated. So 2.9 billion ounces of silver off of 300 million ounce float. I couldn't find gold, but I did now. And for gold, they have total of about 279 million ounces on paper stored at the Bank of England on behalf of the LBMA, of which only 36 million ounces are available, right? The float is 36 million ounces against 380 million ounces in outstanding contracts. They're about 90% short on their ability to deliver, but it's just trucks and men, right? So could it be? I don't know. It seems a little bit out there, but Tom, who is a brilliant guy, is basically saying this is his way of, in essence, blowing up this paper scheme. And if we reshore all of the gold here, I don't know. I just want people to understand that it's a whole lot more than just Trump tariffs or trying to take advantage of arbitrage, and the possibilities, whether it be gold revaluation, whether it be blowing up the banks in London who Gordon Brown sold almost all of their gold. So you revalue the price of gold. Well, it ain't going to benefit London, the UK. I know it seems a little bit out there, but I'm just passing on information that I've heard because it's interesting to let your mind expand a little bit and think, because look, we're at a place right now where desperate times call for desperate measures. We have $28 trillion in U.S. treasuries that are due in 3 years, Dunnigan. In 3 years, it's $28 trillion to get the tax revenue will be under $15 trillion. And so you take all that tax revenue over the next 3 years, even call it $5 trillion a year, which is under that now, and he wants to lower taxes, but give him the benefit of the doubt. $15 trillion, even cut some spending and all that stuff. We owe $28 trillion. So we're halfway there, and that doesn't account of all the debt we accumulate over the next 3 years. We're already at over $800 billion in debt for this year, and it's only February. So the moral of the story is, how do we address this problem? And so, look, desperate times call for desperate measures. Where does gold fit into all of this? Don't know, man, but I think people should don't be surprised when you're surprised as to what shows its head in the coming days and weeks ahead. I think it will be something a little bit more grandiose than what the media is leading us to believe.
Gold and silver are at a turning point, and the opportunities ahead could be life-changing. If you found this valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss an update from Andy Schectman and the latest market insights. Big things are coming. Stay prepared.